Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stadium of Light. I'm delighted to tell you that Sunderland have finished 5 goals up at the end to 0 against Cheltenham Town. A brilliant game. Sunderland showing some real quality in moments throughout the 90 minutes. Alongside me, Danny Collins. Danny, it was a good night here at the Stadium of Light.
It was, yeah, and it was a good solid performance, as you mentioned, from start to finish, really. Unfazed at the back throughout the 90 minutes. Hoffman quiet, wasn't he? Quiet night for him, which is a good thing. But just good control on the game. You know, the goals, say, come at the right time, you know, because we were free-flowing, weren't we, throughout the 90 minutes in terms of that. We had a little bit, 5 minutes to get going at the start of that second half, but then we kicked into gear again, got going, and those balls, just threaded balls through all night. Broadhead running in behind, Stewart running in behind. Their defence just kept that high line, and we just kept getting in behind time and time again. And some good, as we mentioned there, it's difficult to pick a man of the match, which is a good thing because there were that many good solid performances out there from the boys. And the lads who came in stepped up and have staked a claim for the shirt. And it's a good headache for Lee Johnson to have.
It is a good headache. And let's look through those highlights from the game then. We'll let you talk us through the action. And all started in the first half.
Yeah, it is. And this ball sums it up for me. That's the story of the 90 minutes. It's a ball dropped over. No, their back line all over the show. And Broadhead does well. Gets in behind, Angle goes against him there, does the right thing, doesn't he? Squares it for Ross, doesn't really get enough power or direction on it. Ross, he almost plays it against Matty Pollock back on the line, but then we get the corner from this. And as we said there, McGeady whips a ball into that near post area. Bailey Wright just gets across his man and just glances it into the far corner. No one on the post, and that sets us on our way. This is their only real chance, I think, wasn't it? First half. I think it would have been given for a free kick, if I'm honest. I think Matty Pollock at the back post is climbing all over the back of Ross Stewart, and it's a yard or two over the bar. This one here comes out to Winchester, who's stepping onto it. Encouragement from the crowd for him to pull the trigger. He catches it quite well, just fading away from that near post. And it's the second goal now. Lovely little ball. See there, just Broadhead coming into the pocket. See it just driving in there. Little loose touch from the defender. We're on our way again, and as it comes across to Broadhead, just awareness, steps over it, and there's his strike partner coming onto it. Goes down as an assist for Carl Winchester.
It does, yeah.
But yeah, it's more than we deserved, you know, at that stage in the game. With replay of it here now, as you see, we're getting numbers forward, and he likes to get forward, doesn't he, Winchester, as we know. And look at the numbers again for me, which is key now. We're getting 5 and 6 bodies in the box every time we're flooding forward. And it causes issues and problems for the opposition. And then McGeady was getting involved, puts a ball in across that near post. Ross Stewart there feels it was, I think he gets the first touch on it, maybe comes off the defender. And then this one here, McGeady again, nightmare for the defender, stands him up, lovely ball to that far post. Ross comes powering in, gets above his man, but he just can't quite get over the top of the ball. And we could have been 4-5 up at this stage, but here is the third goal now, crunching tackle from Corey Evans. And there we go again, 4 men driving at their back line. To say, and that's for me is the ball of the evening. It looks like the chance has gone away. He just reverses it, lovely little ball in behind, and that's the work done there for that goal. McGeady's there, just wait it across for Ross Stewart to help himself to his second goal. Just see it back now, and you think the defender there, Hussey, puts the brakes on. McGeady's just in behind him. The 2 centre halves there haven't recovered, and Ross is in behind them, and they're at 6s and 7s, aren't they? And then we're in again, another ball over the top. And it's unlucky there, because I think Stewart does well. He knows that the keeper's coming flying out, and he knows that Aidan McGeady's just to the side of him, but McGeady's just trying to put the brakes on, can't quite manage to do so. And then Broadhead, I thought this was his goal, does everything right, takes it away from Pollock, the centre half, catches it really well on his left foot. Unfortunately, just the other side of the post.
Into the second half then.
Broadhead again. Aidan O'Brien does well. The only thing there is it looks 6-yard line, keeper comes running out, and by the time Broadhead gets to the ball, keeper's on top of him. Broadhead again. See this one, it's difficult there because McGeady's had to put a little bit on
stumbles
it.
A bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah, and it puts him off, and he puts too much pace on the pass. Angle goes against him. But it's just like a reoccurring theme for the night, wasn't it? It's a ball over the top, they're running back towards their own goal. Keeper comes out there, he makes a bit of a mess of it, and Stewart just doesn't quite get the contact on it. And this one again, I think Ross there, the pass is never on for me. I think he's on a hat-trick as well there. He's unselfish, but for me, he's got to drive at goal and just drive it across the goalkeeper. Chance goes away, and at this stage, we could be 6 or 7, couldn't we? This one comes to Corey Evans, yeah, short corner, catches it really well, straight down there the neck of the goalkeeper, really.
This is a period of time of about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was, where we were on top again.
Goal.
Yeah, and this is the fourth now. Comes out to Corey Evans. It's just jinked past his man, fires it across, and there's his centre midfield partner. Could have been him or Bailey right there, both waiting for it. Luke O'Nien says, thanks very much. Gets his second goal of the season.
We weren't done there, though, because a couple of minutes later, Leon Dayaku comes on.
Yeah. Well, again, we'll just look at this one. They've got loads of numbers back there, but they're not locking on in the middle. You see, comes from the set play, doesn't it? And Luke O'Nien just finds himself half a yard, just hanging back, really, and just strides onto it and just passes it past the goalkeeper. And here's the fifth one, and arguably the best goal of the evening. I think it's a lovely ball again. As I mentioned with Huggins, he just kept dropping balls in behind there. And it's a great first touch from Broadhead. Just pops up off his knee. Defender makes the tackle, but there's Dayaku, only been on the pitch, 5 minutes or so. Comes onto it and just strikes it into that top left corner, and it's a lovely first goal for him, for the club.
Broadhead again involved. He was involved in so much.
In most of the goals, wasn't he? I say, feel sorry for him in a way. I would probably give him man of the match for his work rate, his endeavour, and his involvement in the goals. Just feel sorry for him that he didn't actually get a goal himself this evening. But that'll come, putting in performances like that.
He went off late as well with looked like an injury. So we'll hope he's all right.
I hope he's okay. Maybe just be, as I said, ran out of steam. Maybe I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see what the report is coming back from Lee Johnson on him. But yeah, they offered very little, didn't they, in terms of a threat going forward. And this one here, I think it would have been that perhaps would have been goal in the night if he could have found the top corner there, Aidan O'Brien. But yeah, throughout the team, Frankie, as we mentioned, there's a lot of 8, 9 out of 10 performances tonight out there from the boys. You know, impressed with Huggins coming in at left back, not his favourite position because he's not left-footed, but what a shift he put in. He looked like he enjoyed being out there. The lads at the back, comfortable in terms of defensive work. Carl Winchester again getting forward, getting involved in the action. So a lot of positives, and for me, the main positives are we've been missing, you know, Doyle, Sirkin, a couple of regulars out there. Lyndon Gooch not involved. You know, we've rested Dan Neil, Elliot Embledon tonight, so the strength and depth of the squad. These lads stepping in, being given the opportunity and taking it tonight. Yeah,
nice one, Danny. Thanks for your thoughts so far. Let's have a look at the rest of the EFL League One results, shall we? So that's how it finished. Let me go through them for you. Burton 2, Portsmouth 1. Portsmouth, of course, that's where Sunderland are heading on the weekend. Cambridge 0, Gillingham 2, Charlton 1, Bolton 4, Ipswich 6, Doncaster 0, MK Dons 3, Fleetwood 3, Morecambe 2, Lincoln 0, Oxford 4, Accrington Stanley 1, Plymouth 1, Crewe 1, Rotherham 3, AFC Wimbledon 0, Shrewsbury 1, Wickham 2, Wigan 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. What does that mean for the league table? It means Sunderland sitting top, played 9 on 22 points. Healthy.
Yeah, just look at that. Yeah, there's a nice little gap, isn't there? You know, I mean, worst case, I'm looking worst case there at this moment in time. I know we're early into the season still, but you look at that gap down out of the playoffs, you know, it's 7 points already, isn't it? So we keep plugging away. We've got a game in hand. As we mentioned there, you've got to do your own job, and we've certainly done that this evening. And then you look at your nearest rivals, and then Sheffield Wednesday have gone there and beat Wigan this evening. So it's been a great evening for us. As I say, we're not even a quarter of the way through the season yet. We've got to keep plugging away. Bit of a cliche, isn't it? You've got to keep churning the games out, churning these wins out. And next up, as you mentioned there, Portsmouth at the weekend.
Right then, we've got a lot to get through. A lot of people have been commenting on the hashtag AskDanny's. I think we can start them very, very soon here on SFC Live. Let's go for the first one from Johnny, who says, with the quality in the squad now, is it best 11 or horses for courses? What's the difference?
It's a good question, but yeah, it's a good. I just said there, didn't I? It's a good headache for Lee Johnson to have. You know, strength and depth in the squad. You know, you've still got Shamajli out injured, Jordan Willis, who are looking further down the line, but
Denver Hume back on the grass
Denver
this week.
Hume, yeah, massive. He come back in, could come in at the right time if Sirkin's out for another week or two. But at the same time, you look at Huggins tonight. He's going to be not too happy if he comes out of the team after the performance he's had this evening. And you're going around the squad, you're looking at every position on the pitch at this moment in time and good competition. And, you know, we have been relying on Ross Stewart at the top end of the pitch in terms of his work rate and the formation we've played. But it's good that we've mixed it up tonight, changed it to a front two, you know, with a 4-4-2. And he's gone out there and he's put in, arguably for me, man of the match tonight. So it's good. And then they get back to the training ground. It is a difficult one for Lee Johnson because at the end of the day, he can only keep 11 lads happy come 3 o'clock or 7:45, whatever time the kickoff is. But the lads there, we're on the outside looking in, but I get the feeling there's a good vibe in the changing rooms. You know, yes, when you're at the top of the table, but you can always have one or two who, if they aren't involved, can be a little bit sulky. Yes, it's a team game, but you're an individual and you're only happy in a way if you're playing. But the lads that are coming out there, you know, Aidan O'Brien out there as well tonight, limited game time, but I look at his performance and he looks like he's happy to, you know, as soon as he's back out there, he looks like he's enjoying being part of it. So it's a good problem to have. We're sat top of the table, and as I said before, lads can't go knocking on the manager's door because all he's got to do is show him the league table at this moment in time.
Yeah.
But we've got strength in depth, and I've said it there in commentary, we could probably field 2 11s in this league who would be competitive. That's
exciting, isn't it? Let's move on to the next one then, please. This one is from Pat, who says, Nathan Broadhead to start against Portsmouth for you. Well, this one's also about Broadhead. How impressive have you been by Broadhead, and would you keep him in the starting 11?
Well, yeah, it's the same question, obviously, coming from a couple of people, and I certainly would, yeah. Just prior to this evening, in the week, I always like to look at it and maybe think, what would I do if I was manager or coaching? Would I look to tinker the formation? And I did look at it, and I did go to a 4-4-2. I did go with the diamond, but I think the 4-4-2, it worked well tonight. I just think looking at the weekend,
it's good to know that we've got a couple of systems, isn't it, Danny? Because too many times last season, we got found out, and maybe we had one way of playing for
struggle
success.
For a plan B in a way, really, and I think the lads can adapt in that. And I think we obviously came away from a back three last year, 3-5-2, and I think everyone's more comfortable in a 4, whether you're 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1. Whatever you want to play in terms of that, you can adjust it higher up the pitch. But the lads, as I say, they took to it tonight. Quick turnaround from the weekend. So you mentioned there, what would the lads have been doing in terms of preparation?
They can't have had that much time.
Not a lot, but they maybe have worked during pre-season on a couple of shapes. You go into the meeting room, and a 4-4-2 is your standard formation anyway, in a way. It's almost frowned upon, isn't it, this day and age? It's almost a little bit old school. A lot of people think you're looking back to 90s, even my time at the club, we played a lot of 4-4-2 going back in the day.
What about the youth teams? Will they still be playing 4-4-2? Or remember when we speak to Christian Speakman, he said he wanted the first team to have that kind of shape, and then it goes
that into the youth teams
all the way down.
Yeah, and if the 23s are coming up and joining in, that they know the system and that. But maybe not. I'm not sure in terms of that, with us being a quick turnaround. And I just looked at Saturday really, and I think second half we did get penned in a little bit. We didn't really have an outlet. Balls were coming up, and Ross was competing with the centre halves. They were regaining possession. So I think that Lee Johnson's maybe looked at that tonight, with them having a back three as well, and thinking, if I can get these two lads, dragging their back line about, causing them problems, and that's what's happened for me tonight. Broadhead's gone there. I was impressed with him against Blackpool. I was impressed with him against Wigan. And I've seen clips of him from his Everton days. I say that he's young in terms of his career in pre-season for Everton as well. And he's a threat. He loves playing on the shoulder. And as a former defender, there's nothing worse. You're happy as a defender if you've got maybe a bit of a lump in front of you, who's happy back to goal to receive the ball, who doesn't really want to run that way.
Easy to keep an eye on.
But you look at him tonight there. As soon as our midfielders or our back line lads were getting it, they were high. They had a high line, and he's in behind. But you could put a reel together of his clips from tonight, just to show in the week. Look at him. This is what I want you doing. And then what that does, that drops their back line deeper. As I said there's nothing worse as a defender. You keep getting those balls turned over. You're running back towards your own goal. You've got to either put it out or put your keeper under pressure. And then what that does then, I'm saying if I'm one of their back line lads, we've got to drop 10 yards here. I'm sick to death of running back towards my own goal. And then that should create a little bit of space, a little bit of pocket, as it did at times for whether it's Broadhead who wants to drop in, Ross Stewart, McGeady was coming in off the line, getting involved, and then Hussey's out. He's not sure, do I want, so it causes them problems. So I think we've got that rotation. We've got it when we play with the midfield three, a 2 and a 1. Embleton comes in, Dan Neil runs on. So there's good rotation there, which causes problems for lads certainly playing at this level as well.
Thanks, Danny. Let's move on to the next one then, please. This one's from John. Do you think Ross Stewart is due a call-up for Scotland, and do you think some teams could come in from him in January? Well, we'll ignore the second line because we don't want that to happen. But he's certainly, Scotland are crying out for a striker, and Ross Stewart seems to have it all. And he could have had 5 goals this evening.
He could, if he comes off with 5, certainly the match ball, he can't complain tonight. And I think, the question is, and I know there's rumours going around that he should be, and I look at Scotland's squad at this moment in time, and I don't think they've got strength in depth at that end of the pitch. So I'd imagine they've certainly got scouts here, Scotland, having a look at him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does get the call. He's early into his Sunderland career, isn't he? But he brings something different to what we've seen last year. And I'm not going to sit here now and go on about Charlie Wyke and comparing the two of them. They're different players. Yes, they're both 6 foot plus, but Ross is more mobile. You know, he brings something different. I think he likes playing on the shoulder as well. He's 6'4", he's 6'5", and sometimes you can play against these strikers who don't use it. You know, going back to my time, we had Kenwyne Jones. Kenwyne was 6'3" something. Kenwyne had a hell of a leap on him. Ross is not afraid to use his size as well. You know, balls coming in there, he competes well. He works his shift off the ball as well. You know, putting pressure on their lads at the back, not giving them time. We see it time and time again where centre halves have it and they're looking it up. They're looking for that little ball down the line. And next minute, Ross comes out of nowhere, doesn't he? That big long leg, and he puts a crunching challenge in, and it goes out for a throw in. And as a Bailey Wright or Tom Flanagan, these lads at the back, helps them out massively. Keeps the ball at that end of the pitch. They're not ending up running back towards their own goal with the ball getting shelled down the channel. So I like a lot of what I've seen of Ross's game. How many goals is he on now? 7, I think, that for the season, maybe.
With the 2 tonight, might be 6 or 7.
6 or 7 he's on. Could easily be in double figures already, couldn't he?
Yeah.
But what I like about Ross, and I said it in pre-season, he does have opportunities which he doesn't put away. But
7.
7 he's on, yeah. So he has these opportunities where he does miss it, but it doesn't let it faze him. He gets on with it, he shrugs it off, and he waits for the next opportunity. And we've seen that tonight. He missed arguably his easiest chance, didn't he? Where Broadhead done well, pulls it back to him, penalty spot. He could pick his corner, but he hits it straight down the middle, dusts that off, and he gets ready for the next opportunity. And he keeps on working. So he's going to get opportunities, and he's going to keep scoring goals for us.
Okay, let's move on to the next one then. From Daniel. He says, "Evening, gents. What's your favourite thing about having the fans back?"
It helps out with the atmosphere first up, doesn't
I think it's the 12th man as well.
Yeah,
there was so many fixtures last season. We were the only people in this stand, pretty much, weren't we?
Yeah.
And there were so many games where we failed to score or we just didn't get over the line. And you're thinking, if the crowd were in here, we would have demolished these teams.
Yeah, exactly. Just to get behind the boys as well. And, I've played in stadiums in pre-season like this where it's a big stadium and it almost feels like a pre-season friendly. And I think that's what you're getting at. We've seen a lot of that last season. And we even got a taste of it, didn't we, in the semi-final playoff against Lincoln. We only had 11,000, 12,000 in that day. And that roar when the lads came out, and even for us on the gantry, and I said to you, the hairs were up on your neck.
We were down on the touchline for that one.
That was right, when they came out. And we hadn't seen that for a while, had we? And I think it does give the opposition a lift when they come up to the stadium. They see the surroundings, the quality of the pitch. And it is an upset coming up to Sunderland at this level. For teams like Cheltenham, if they can get one over on us.
Yeah, but it works both ways, though, doesn't it?
Of course it is. But then we get the goals. If we get the early goal, and I've said it before, it works both ways. The players need to give the crowd something to go off and vice versa. The crowd then, can they get behind the boys when they feel like the lads need it as well? Yeah. And even tonight, we scored 1 or 2. And, no disrespect, we are expected to beat Cheltenham at home. Yeah. With them coming up last season, and then you mentioned it, there was once or twice where the songs come out, and even at 2-0, the lads can become a little bit complacent, just sort of take the foot off the gas and start knocking it round. But I think that's what the crowd got behind them tonight. Didn't allow that almost. It's almost as if to say, come on, that's 2. Let's get on the front foot again. Let's go and get 3, 4, 5. And that's what happened. And that's what they'll need throughout the season. We're going to have tough times here. We're unbeaten. We've won every game, haven't we? That's 6 out of 6 in the league. But I'd imagine we are going to come, go behind in the game. We're going to be not at our A game, and that's where we're going to need these 28,000 to 30,000 in the stadium to get behind the boys.
Thanks, Danny. Let's move on to the final one, I think, here. And this one is from Carl. Do you change a team that's won so comprehensively or bring Embleton and Neil straight back in? They've done nothing wrong at all, quite the opposite. And that's the headache which Lee Johnson's facing now, isn't he?
Well, he is, but at the same time, as Dan Neil and Embleton done a lot wrong as well. So it's we've just had back-to-back wins. Well, 3 wins if you include the League Cup as well. So it's rotation, as you say. I wouldn't see it as they've been dropped tonight. I think when you've got a strong squad as we have, if they've had 2 or 3 games where they've not been at it and then they come out the team, then you can maybe say, I think that the manager's dropped them. But I like to see it more as rotation, freshen it up. 5 changes tonight, change in formation. If things didn't go quite well, then maybe 1 or 2 might be questioning things, as fans do naturally. But, you look at the result now, and Lee Johnson got it right. I would imagine there will be changes at the weekend. He might see it as we've gone Saturday, Tuesday, and then we've got a long trip down. I'm not sure whether they'll fly down possibly at the weekend.
I have to word with the top brass.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably fly down, maybe come up back on the bus. However, but it's a long journey down to Portsmouth.
It is.
We're going to have a lot of Saturday, Tuesdays now. Obviously, the Papa Johns to come. We're still in the League Cup.
Yep.
So there's a lot of games to come, and we've got the squad now to keep it fresh. And I don't see it as us weakening the squad too much either, if I'm honest. Keep going back to it. We've got 22 lads, a couple of injured, who, you know, 2 centre halves, who the manager can look at that squad. I'm sure in his office he'll have on his board his formations, as managers do, the whiteboard with all the magnetic teams, the players in each position. And we have arguably got 2 players in each position now, strength and depth.
When was the last time we had that as well?
Yeah, at this level as well. So we're not weakening it by any means. We're not getting young lads who are coming in from the 23s, who are fresh to it, who are, you know, trying to find their feet in the game. You've got lads here now who are competing. There'll be good competition on the training ground. I guarantee the 5-a-side levels are up here at this moment in time. And yes, lads are going to be disappointed if they're not starting. But
it's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, and it's one that Lee Johnson gets well paid for.
Thanks, Danny, for your thoughts this evening. We are back in action and on SAFC Live at 2:30 on Saturday to that away trip to Portsmouth, which Danny has touched upon. We've been broadcasting around the UK as well this evening, so thanks for joining us if you have been with us, and of course to everyone watching around the world as usual as well here on SAFC Live. We'll be back on Saturday, but we leave you with a big good victory for Sunderland. 5-0 here at the Stadium of Light.